My name is Jessica Horn and I work for the hospice department here in Mercy Memorial. I am an administrative professional. Well, we were standing there and we were playing this spin the wheel game that they have, and she had come up, the special needs woman had come up, and she was in tears, and she was asking us if we knew the name Ray of her caretaker. And I had walked up to her and asked her, do you know where Ray is? And she said no. And she was crying and crying. And I said, take my arm and I'll walk you through the aisles and we'll see if we can find her. She held onto my arm and she just kept telling me over and over, I need to find Ray, I need to find Ray. When we got to the end of the aisles and we hadn't found Ray yet, and I said, well, let me see your cell phone, because sometimes people will program, name number 1, name number 2 for emergency contacts. So I had gone through her phone and they thankfully had done that. And so we tried calling Ray from her cell phone and she didn't pick up. I tried to calm her down, let her know that I would be there. I would sit there with her until we found Ray, and I comforted her. And she eventually calmed down, and then eventually Ray had actually walked into the administrative office and we had found Ray. So then the woman jumped up and she hugged her and was very thankful to find her. Just to see her eyes at the end, the appreciation that she had found the caretaker. She was in a lot of distress, so to have that familiar face and watch her see her, yeah, that was very fulfilling, I think, because she knew that she was back in safe hands and everything was going to be fine.
My name is David Loveland and I work at Mercy Memorial Hospital, where I am a registered nurse in the emergency department, where I've been working for 4 years. It was I believe an afternoon, early evening shift, and my charge nurse, Christine, got a phone call from a mom who was visiting with her family from the west side of the state, and they have a child who has a feeding tube, and from what it sounded like, they had forgot part of their equipment that was necessary to access the tube to give their child his medications. Me personally, I also have a child with special needs, and she also has a feeding tube. So when the parents who we recommended just come in, we'd help them out, even if we might not have the equipment. When they came in, I just kind of asked them, well, what kind of tube does your child have? And turned out it was the exact same tube that my daughter has. So I said, why don't you guys wait here? We don't have that piece of tubing in the hospital, but I have lots of extras at home. Let me run home and get you one. They were overjoyed with that, as I can imagine. And I've been in that situation before. You got a child who isn't really sick but needs medications or just certain things for care, and you forget one thing. And I've been like an hour away from home before and just been frantic, like, what are we gonna do? These people had driven like 4 or 5 hours. The one thing that sticks out in my head that day is when I did go home and get that piece of equipment for this family, brought it back, just seeing their faces, the relief on their face, just the joy, the thanks, made me feel good.
My name is Stephanie Paris. I work in the Medical Affairs Department as a credentialing specialist. I walked out of my office and the patient was in the hallway and was trying to get into a doctor's office that was closed. And I could tell that she was upset. So I asked her if there's anything I could help her with, and she said that she was trying to get in to see this particular physician. I believe she said she was having a migraine and needed to get some medication for that, and she was with her son. So I sat her down. There's some benches in the POB, so I walked her down there. I said, well, why don't you stay here? I'll try to call the office. When I went to revisit her, she was not the same woman that I had seen about 5 minutes sooner, that she was really in a lot of pain. She was very disoriented at this point. So I called the physician, give them an update that she wasn't gonna make her appointment, that she was running late. And by the time I got back to her again, she wasn't coherent at all and wasn't making any sense. And I was very concerned. So at that point I had talked to her son and I said, I really think that the appropriate thing to do is take your mom to the ER. And so I got a wheelchair, and I had him help me get his mom in the wheelchair, and I wheeled her to the ER. Seeing that through to the end and having the confidence that she was going to be well taken care of and that the son was in a good place once his grandma got there, that was really incredibly satisfying to me. The next day, the mom, I don't know how she found me. I think she probably remembered that she was in that area, but someone brought her to me, and she thanked me and for stepping in and staying with her son, and that she was feeling a lot better, and that that had been a while since she had had an episode like that, and that she was so grateful. I'll never forget it.